It all started on Crucifix Corner, eh?
It all started because Seth lived on two different corners of West Boulevard.
Well, we couldn't call it different boners.
So it's 1999, and I had this drum set. Seth comes over, and got the drum set in one corner, and we got the guitar in another corner. So when I'm playing the drums, I'm facing one corner. Seth's playing the guitar. He's facing his corner. We're both facing our respective corners. That's pretty much how we came up with the name Different Corners. Just because of the setup.
World is changing around us. The rope isn't here anymore. Really didn't expect it to be, but on this journey of redemption, living in the past to expose the future and where the future will bring you. So, as the word started, Morrison Park, Big Creek, Monkey Island, the rope, Dawn's Highway, Crucifix Corner, Kaiser Hill, Kaiser Soze. You know, it's a lot of beginnings, a lot of endings, and the future is what the future is.
It was magic, you know. We'd known each other for a long time and been playing together, but we never really wrote any songs together. We talked about it. And, you know, and we started writing songs, and that was the We Make Cats Crazy. And we got picked up by the Catalog of Horrors.
Firefly. Still love that song even though it still reminds me of that. It was the first song we did together. First thing that we did seriously and actually wrote an honest to God good song. You know, I didn't start that. Started playing shows with 2 people. That's cool. And for the band, playing at one part. It was July 3rd, early 90s. We didn't have music. We were living in Morrison.
And slowly it evolved into The Thick as Thieves, which is an epic album. There's some great songs there. If I had my way, it would have been released. that was another thing that was caught up in litigation. I know a lot of the fans want to hear it. People always ask me about it. We've done some songs live, but I've gotten in trouble for that. So we haven't been doing any of the Thick as Thieves songs. Thick as Thieves was finally released, and it's a great album. Thick as Thieves, Old Dusty Boots. And when I wrote Old Dusty Boots, it was about the end.
Thick as Thieves was only released for like a day, 2 days, and they pulled it from the shelves. Someone at Catalog of Horrors didn't like it going out into the world, and so there's a few bootlegs of it out there, but if you're trying to hear the real copy, you're probably never gonna happen. Catalog of Horrors, I don't know, they lost it in the fire, maybe in the vault. I'm not sure.
The world changing around us. Ghetto's getting bigger, not smaller like we thought. You know, we were just dealt the hand we were given. And when Different Corners broke up, that's when I went over to Curtis Star Productions. And we did Parma, and that was never really completed. It leaked onto the internet. It should have never been heard by anybody. It was more of a prequel to Parma Heights, which was a much better album. It was more the finished product of where I wanted Parma to be. And worked on Parma Heights for a couple of years before it came out. You know, we had some classics on there, you know, Wait. It was a great song. Hey. Dealt It. Back in the day, one of my personal favorites. It was where I got to express growing up and saying goodbye to my childhood. Parma, the land of karma. What else can you say?
First Pierre album, it's a blur. Time in my life when drank very heavily. Up to about 2 bottles of scotch a night. Winding up in strange places. John was living up on the church's rooftop. And I was just camping out there. doing whatever it took for me to get enough alcohol to get me drunk in the day. It's a different time. You know, some people say that they've been to rock bottom and they've seen the rock bottom. You know, I have to say that was my rock bottom. It was during that whole first year. It's never really finished. It's just, it is. It should have never been released. People knew there was what, maybe 2 decent songs on it. And then that's when everything changed after that.
You know, when we signed Pierre, just to take him in a new direction. You know, make sure he's heard by everyone and not just the different corners crowd. We tried to mold him into something new just by giving him new musicians to play with and new ideas. I mean, we give him complete freedom, and it's been good so far. After Parma Heights, you know, we thought we really had something, so that's when we took advantage of working together and came out with the Bells of Corners albums. We also did the Broken Corners album, a couple live CDs, and now 53, which was his idea, and you know, I support him in whatever he wants to do. So yeah, Pierre's one of our top selling artists on Curtis Star Productions, and we'd like to keep it that way. During the whole Different Corners era, a lot of it was a lot of business, and you know, they say don't mix business with pleasure, and music was always pleasure for me, and it turned into business, and that's where it all went downhill.
You know, there's big egos on both sides. You know, it just got to a point where I started playing music on the phone, and I wasn't having fun anymore. It wasn't even like work, it was like torture. Just said, fuck it.
So we did the On the Island album to put fuel on the fire, so to speak, and to fulfill all the rumors and just to address all that stuff. So legally I can't say much about the Parma Wars since the truce has been negotiated. What I can say is it all started when Seth released Double Vision, and that's what started the war. The Parma Wars is in a truce right now, and it shall remain it till the end of time. Yeah. Harlem was rough back then. You had all the gangs. Flipside beefing with Fatheads. Fatheads are beefing with the West Side Posse. And you got Crips and folks. Harlem was just out of control. And, you know, all the violence just proceeded to the rap war.
You know, that's when the record labels jumped in and, you know, pitted us against each other. You know, Stethoscope Records was leading Seth one way, and Curtis Star Productions was leading me another way. And, you know, it was just a lot of immaturity.
Where was I when I heard? You know, I was in the studio. I've done different things in different corners of the world. I've broken those corners. Survived a lot. Lost a lot. But you know, the loss is that an engineer came in and said, "Did you hear the news?" And you know, my heart instantly dropped. You know, I didn't know what was going on, but I you know, kind of sensed something in the air. It was an awkward day. And, when he told me the news, you know, at first I was like, you know, we need to do something. It can't be true. You know, we need to call the doctors and, you know, see if there's something else we can do. And that's when he told me that they found him in his bathroom. Because, you know, I thought maybe he was in the hospital and relapsed, you know. It was a sad day. That was the day that I decided, you know, it's all over for the unknown soldier. The relationship between me and Steve's girl, it's choppy at best.
You can talk to me about different things, but you can look in the mirror and see two ears that hear me. And I know that I'm in the mood for a chocolate chip kiss, a little chocolate chip on your upper lip. And I'm putting it in slow, and I'm putting it in slow like a dynamite.
What's up? Welcome to my pool vlog, y'all. Been meaning to get this vlog going for a while now. Been away for a while, Christmas shopping. Hope y'all having a good Christmas vacation. Maybe you is, maybe you isn't. So let's get things rolling right away. Let's talk about what everybody's talking about. And you know, my brother passed away, but I always go to his grave and talk to him for a good minute. See what's up with him.
You can talk to me
You know,
about different things.
he chilling in the ground, keeping cool, while I'm up here climbing trees, you know.
2 ears that hear
My brother Seth, man, he gave me my claws, you know. He is the claws, man, coming up and down that chimney every Christmas, man, just bringing presents for everybody, keeping cool. I dedicate this next cigarette drag to my brother, my long lost brother, chilling in the ground while I'm wearing his claws. His name was Seth.
The documentary was one of Seth's projects. He is the one who put it all together. And, it's going to be released on DVD at some point. I know Steve Skirl is working on that as we speak. Well, Paul Farrar's the director, but
Fuck Paul Farrar.
Steve Skirl owns all the rights to all the video. So it's been a lot of lawyers between Steve Skirl and Stethoscope Records to who has the rights of the video. Is it Stethoscope or is it, you know, Steve Skirl? Because Seth's wife seems to think it's hers and Steve Skirl seems to think it's his, and you know, that it may never see the light of day. We'll just have to wait for the courts to figure out what's going to happen with that.
You know, reflecting on the past and the future. Different corners will live on forever.
So when I did the Periscope album, I was so inspired after doing 53 and the tribute to Seth, after the death of Seth, and you know, that's when like I'm in the studio like every day, and I'm just recording tracks, and when I was doing the Seth album, I was just so inspired that I came up with all these songs, and that's how Periscope came about, and it's probably one of my best albums. Yeah, Periscope, great songs on there. There was We're All Alone, Horse of a Different Color, You and Me, yeah, a lot of classic songs on that album. Yeah, one of my best albums. I think Periscope was probably me coming out of my shell and accepting who I am as a musician, as a person, as a human, and what led to me proving myself as a serious musician once again, without different corners. On an Island was what started the ball rolling for Periscope, and life changed after that. That's when we got our first hit. It was off Periscope. First #1 single. Hey went #1, and I have only to thank the fans for that. So, yeah. Hey is a great song, and Periscope was a great album. Pompeii Nights, more like Pompeii Fights. Yeah, you know, they said, you know, come do one last hurrah. You know, it'll be a quick cash grab for you. And, you know, it'll be something the history books will talk about. Yeah, you know, controversy aside, I say that we made the best album that Different Corners has ever made. You know, we took it back to the roots and the hopes and dreams and aspirations of what we wanted to accomplish. I think we accomplished it all in that album. It's a great album. Well, you know, we got together for the last time. We want to do something different. The concept, you know, like most albums, it starts with one song, and that was Pompeii Nights. I remember writing it and being like, this is too much like Pink Floyd. A new direction of hope and consequence.
Flesh of the Devil was something that I pretty proud of. You know, it's late. You know, we're finishing up a studio session of Flesh of the Devil. Trevor just looks at me and goes, I have to shit. Alright, well, go take a shit then. So, takes a shit in the drum set. Didn't find it for a week later. Couldn't find the smell.
You know, it's way back before even the Parma Wars, and even before we made Cats Crazy. And we're sitting in the back of the living room, and he looks at me and says, "No, that was a horse in a different color." You know, we're thinking, how can we pay tribute to the ones we love the most? And that was Set the Controls. You know, if you would have told me that night I was on acid painting the floor in the studio, feedback going, pretending in my head that we sounded like Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun, that we would complete the song as well as we did. It's amazing. Mark it off the bucket list. Yeah, and sent me over the tracks, and it was called The Right Way, so listening to it, and it was brilliant. It just needed a couple things, you know, bass, little beat, ding, there, and turned out that was a great song. Very proud of my bass line on that. You know, the story goes that Pierre's in the living room, and Seth is in the kitchen, and the Jars twins are in the hallway between the kitchen and living room, and there's all this yelling going on, and finally Pierre just stands up. It's a big spread all over the table. You got duck, you got turkey. Picks up the fucking duck, throws it on the ground, starts slamming it on the ground, kicking it. drops an elbow off the table on it, slams it, body slams it, throws it to the ground, puts it in a chokehold, and proceeds to just beat it to pulp. It's the most disturbing thing I've ever seen in my life. Basically, I'll never be the same again.
You know, it'll be something the history books will talk about.
The Jarvis twins are in the middle of the hallway and wouldn't let anyone go past them. They're screaming, Pierre screaming, something about a duck. And they're just out of control because everyone's fighting and everyone's yelling, and next thing you know, Pierre's fucking the duck in the middle of the dining room.
No comment.
So there I am, and I'm just screaming, kill the duck, kill that fucking duck, kill the duck, kill that fucking duck.
It was a long time ago, and things have changed.
Oh yeah, the duck is dead shit, yeah, it's a myth. You can believe what you want to believe. The people that were there all have conflicting memories. No one really remembers the truth, so it may have happened. It may not have happened. We will never know.
Yeah, you know, I came back and I revisited it, and it wasn't the same as it was when we were younger. You know, its nipples changed.
And Franklin and Michael came up and said that Trevor was in the studio and he wanted us to come in there, so go in there, and Trevor has his dick on this fucking drum set saying, "Is this how you want me to play drums? Is this how you want me to play drums?" And we just looked at each other and said, "No."
You know, late nights, opening the mind, mushrooms. Changed my life. Yeah, album was very magical. It seemed like everything just kind of fell in place, and it was real easy and fun, and you know, that's the way music should be, is easy and fun. And you start complicating things and arguing about royalties and stuff like that, that's when the music gets complicated. Yeah, you know, they said, you know, come do one last hurrah. You know, it'll be a quick cash grab for you. And, you know, it'll be something the history books will talk about. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is they shelf the album and only release the single. So there's a whole nother album out there that just will never be released.
It was a long time ago, and things have changed. You know, we got Dark Side of the Corner coming out soon. It's post-production.
Parma Wars was all Nathan's idea. I mean, oh, am I allowed to say that? Can we edit that out? Seth. Can we start over? What was the question again?
Who the fuck is Gandhi?